Did you know that over 1.4 billion people live in China? And although overpopulation is a major concern for the country, there's another problem that threatens its people more than ever: rapid desertification. So what happens when China's livable landscape continues to shrink at an alarming rate? Besides its large population, China is known for its remarkable production capabilities and innovative technologies, a land with many rivers and green belts which hide in the shadow of tall skyscrapers and excellent infrastructure. Due to its massive population and increased industrial activity, China is suffering from significant climate and ecological changes at a frightening pace. It may come as a surprise that China has many deserts. According to research, more than 25% of China is deserted. Some of these deserts are the Taklamakan Desert, the Badai Dane Jiran Desert, and Shoputao Desert. The largest of them is the Gobi Desert, located in the northern region of China, which shares a border with the south of Mongolia. The Gobi is around 1,000 miles long and up to 600 miles wide and is estimated to cover an area of 500,000 square miles. Now, this barren landscape poses an extraordinary threat. It's growing in size. Can you imagine what that means for the overpopulated country? Stay with us to find out how alarming the situation in China truly is. The name Gobi is of Mongolian origin, which means a dry place. Research shows that the Gobi Desert only gets about 7 inches of rainfall every year. Now, with unique characteristics and a dramatic climate, it was part of the ancient Silk Route in the 13th century, when the Mongolian Empire was at its peak. Interestingly, the Gobi Desert is where some scientists and archaeologists found some of the first dinosaur egg fossils. Classified as a winter desert, the Gobi witnesses extreme weather conditions mainly due to its location near the Himalayas and other connected mountain ranges. You won't believe how much the temperature fluctuates between day and night. About 5% of the desert is sand, while the rest is predominantly firm with hard surfaces, partially rocky terrains, and far-spread vegetation. During the day, the temperature in the Gobi Desert can reach up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit and go as low as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit during the night. Due to its remarkable climate, there is a great diversity in the kind of mammals and birds found in the Gobi Desert, especially near the Mongolian border. As we learn more and more about the world's 5th largest desert, the most intriguing and worrying statistic is that the Gobi is continuously expanding. It's estimated that the Gobi increases by almost 3,600 square kilometers each year. To put this number in perspective, the increase in land is as big as the city of New York. What do you think is the cause of the Gobi Desert's rapid expansion? This growth in the desert is triggered by several factors, one of them which is the glaring increase in the consumption of goods by middle-class Chinese people. Can you imagine that chopsticks alone consume about 1.3 million cubic meters of wood? Then there's a problem of an upsurge in livestock numbers, resulting in overgrazing of the natural vegetation in the desert. Overgrazing affects the soil and takes away its fertile properties, leaving behind piles of dust. Another primary reason for the ever-increasing size of the desert is the intentional capture of land to accommodate human life. The rising population is a major concern in China. Even though the country is finally witnessing a downward trend in its national birth rate for the first time in 60 years, the already overpopulated country needs more land to create urban settlements. How do you think a country can provide its people with livable land without actually extending its borders? What's your opinion? Natural vegetation being overgrazed and voluntary grabbing of land has tampered with the natural ecological cycle, culminating in less and less rain over the years. This escalates the problem even further as water levels decrease not just in the ground, but also in other water sources like lakes and rivers. The meteorology department at Reading University stated that parched soil takes much longer to absorb water compared to grass. The speedy desertification has had a tremendous environmental impact on China and its citizens. A rising number of sandstorms are now affecting not just bordering areas, but also central China. One such storm in 2021 impacted almost 380 million hectares, spanning 12 provinces, damaging the air and resulting in devastating health issues all across China. It was in the 1970s that China took its first steps to counter this alarming desertification of land. Wait until you find out how the country attempted to reverse its dire situation. Proclaimed as the champions of this fight against desertification by the United Nations, the 3 North Shelter Belt Program, commonly referred to as the Great Green Wall of China, is a revolutionary initiative to rehabilitate dry land and stop deserts from increasing in size. The timeline of the Great Green Wall project is up till 2050. During that time, the aim is to grow at least 88 million acres of forests. With subsidies provided by the government to the private sector, many individuals are also contributing to this cause, which has further catapulted the project's success. Chinese scientists believe the planted trees will eventually work as windbreakers and halt the desertification process. Thousands of acres of shifting desert land have been stopped in their tracks, significantly lowering the rate of sandstorms in the country. In the last 4 decades, almost 8 million hectares have been converted into a belt of wind-breaking trees. A report by the Chinese Academy of Scientists mentions that almost 336,200 square kilometers of desert have now been reversed. During the same time, around 10 million hectares of natural vegetation have been saved or regrown. The Great Green Wall project has not only halted the speedy process of desertification, but the plantation has also increased rainfall. However, such a large-scale attempt to reverse the natural cycle comes with its own set of challenges. One of them is monoculture. With the same kind of trees being planted, a decrease in biodiversity in those areas was recorded. This triggered plant-based diseases to spread in and around that specific area. To combat this concern, the World Bank suggested that China should not just concentrate on quantity, but also keep quality at the forefront. Going forward in full throttle, China is also using biotechnology to aid this cause, the results of which will blow your mind. Scientists from Chongjiao Tong University developed a unique technique that converts deserts into fertile land. This technology works by planting cellulose paste in the ground, allowing sand to retain water, minerals, and other microbes and nutrients in substantially higher volumes for maximum plant growth. With results that are almost magical, what was once completely dry and infertile land is now capable of sustaining crops like tomatoes and watermelons, according to the university. Can you guess which other countries could benefit from the same initiative? China's efforts have not gone unnoticed by the global community. Inspired by the Great Green Wall project, a Norwegian scientist developed liquid nano clay, which changes the properties of dry sand and allows it to hold water. The UAE, another prominent region facing desertification, is also following in China's footsteps. Faisal AI Shamari, an innovative mind from the UAE, held an interesting experiment. He started farming in 2 different places, where one side of land was treated with nanoclay but not the other. In his findings, he stated that a significantly low amount of water, 81 cubic meters, was used in growing crops on sand infused with nanoclay, while 137 cubic meters of water was used on the other land. Egypt, a country with almost 90% desert land, is also working tirelessly to combat desertification. With the use of nanoclay and processed sewage water, it aims to cover 200 hectares of dry land with lush green trees and vegetation. India, Mexico, Ethiopia, and Australia are also just a few other countries facing this global issue. What started over 5 decades ago as a Great Green Wall of China project is now becoming the Great Green World Project. The human population is increasing at a pace like never before, with advancements in medical sciences, industrial innovation, and infrastructure. Human beings are continuously exploiting the natural resources of our planet. But with initiatives like the Great Green Wall and remarkable innovations like nanoclay, there's a glimmer of hope for a better and greener future for generations to come. Can humans win this battle against nature, or will the ever-growing hunger for progression and advancement bring us to our doom? Only time will tell. Thanks for joining us on our nature trip today. Please do support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. Remember to click the notification bell to explore more exciting natural phenomena. And until next time, stay curious.